Okay, so we'll start now. Today's session is about Brexit and about what's happening in the markets. We'll come to Brexit, the main dish in a while. Appetizer in the markets, definitely two instruments are, I think three instruments are moving relatively quickly. I think if you look at my screen, the one that's moving really quickly now is Dow. If you look at what's happening over here, let's look at the longer term charts first. Dow, again, is starting to revisit the lows last month. Traditionally, Q4 should be a strong month for equities, but it seems like we're going to have a weak close to the year. We are here at the moment approaching the last low. If you draw any trend line at the moment, I think we are approaching a very key area. If Dow manages to break over here, I think the markets are in trouble. We have tested this trend line quite a few times. I think I joined this in quite a few webinars. So if Dow breaks this trend line, we're in trouble. I can give you an example of why this trend line is important. Let's look at crude oil. You see that crude oil, same as Dow, has this similar kind of trend line. Okay, I draw like this over here, and it's been supported along near here, and here. Okay, and the moment it broke over here, you see what happens to crude. So this is the second instrument that's moving. The crude is really having a downtime at the moment. Seems that nobody wants oil, but also seems like the petrol station pumps are not dropping in price. So I shall not talk about that. Everybody knows why. But oil is getting dumped at the moment. So if you look at Dow, my worry is if this happens, you see the similarity. Let's don't care about the instrument. Let's look at the chart. Again, this kind of trend line forms multi-month trend line. This trend line started in all the way back to near January or February. And same for crude oil. This again starts from the rally started from February all the way to September, October, and here we go. Once it breaks, all the way it comes out. So Dow again, when we trade, it's all about using past. We cannot predict future events, but it's using previous patterns to guess what will happen in the future. I use the word guess. It's really a guess what will happen in the future. And history always repeats itself. Why we have so many financial crises is because human behavior doesn't change. And if you understand trading, right, it is human behavior that causes the candlestick to move that way. So and humans, although a lot of things have changed, the way we trade, the tools we have, the way we live have changed, but I think in general, human greed and fear have not changed that much. So, and that is why we are able to trade patterns to a certain amount of accuracy. So if you have accuracy of already 60 or 70%, I think that's good enough. So again, look at this pattern, screenshot it in your eyes, look at Dow. We are very, very near again this major trend line. If it breaks, watch out for a lot of things. So this is the two instruments as your appetizer. The other one probably you want to look at is gold. Gold, the other way around, we are having already a downtrend. So the opposite to oil and Dow Jones. Previously was down over the last again. Oops, sorry, let me just change the line. Over the last probably 6 months to 9 months down. We're seeing some light over here. Why? I do see this line is important. You have the downtrend, the low is here, then it forms some kind of bottom over here, some resistance over here. We broke out, tested, broke down again, but now we break up again. So this area over here becomes an area of contest for the bulls and the bears. Quite obvious over here. The bears tried to retake the downtrend below this area, but supported, we are up. So as long as gold, so my strategy is this for gold, my plan is this. As long as gold remains above this yellow zone over here, I think I'm slightly bullish on gold. But I think gold is currently pinned down by dollar strength and also pinned down by this line. So this is a critical area. So you see gold being pinned down by about 1,230 plus for the last few weeks or so, still pinned down, but supported by 1,002 or so. So gold now range bound between around 1,002 to 1,236, 1,235 around there. If we can break above 1,236, 1,240, I think we can see 1,003 to come. So look out for gold. So these are the three things that's an appetizer. The main one is sterling. Look at this hourly chart. Look at the hourly chart. It's simply swinging up and down based on the headliners. Maybe I should shift your attention to the headliners first. So what's happening is this. Let's talk about this survey of global CEO. Not important, but this section is important. So what's happening with the Brexit? A lot of you are not really in the markets in terms of news and not tracking what's happening. You know that there's some issues over there, but you don't really know what's happening. Some of you even text me and say, "Hey, I thought Brexit over a few years ago. How now comes again?" The UK Brexit is confirmed after the vote, but they wanted a deal with. That means UK wanted a deal with EU, wanted to have a deal with EU, so that the withdrawal from EU is actually orderly, and they have some trade, deals. They have some border deals, but it seems like what is in the agreements have not been confirmed, and that's what the ding dong is happening at the moment. And to make things worse, you see that Theresa May, PM for UK, is facing opposition within UK itself. So now we have two problems. I simplify for you, you can read on your own. The situation is this. Theresa May needs to make a deal within UK first. That means the Parliament needs to approve it, the Cabinet needs to approve it. The Cabinet has approved the draft, I think last week. So the Parliament has not agreed, and based on polls, it seems that the Parliament will not approve it. So that's a downside to it. So what's going to happen is that you see that UK planned departure from EU is on 29th March next year. So coming already, we're already coming to the end of the year. So the next risk event over here is this Sunday, there's an EU summit where the EU members, so the EU must agree as well. So you see there's internal issues in UK, and yet there's also external issues where the 27 member in the EU must sign off the draft. So three steps, I repeat, summarize for you, three steps. One, the Cabinet has to approve it. The Cabinet has to approve it. So step one is done. Step two, this Sunday, they are having a summit. They have to sign off the draft agreement. That's on the EU side. So far, it seems like there's not much headwinds over there. I assume that's going to go through on Sunday. And after that, December, the UK government will have to vote in December. So even if the EU one goes through this Sunday, it's still not a done deal yet. The British government still has to vote. I think that's called the parliamentary vote. The Parliament has to vote in early December, and based on estimates and surveys, it seems like Theresa May doesn't have enough votes to get it through. So that's the issue, and you see the reason. That's the reason you see sterling being pressured over here. Overall, look at it, it's downtrend. I mean, from here onwards, it's down. You see, it's pressured. I do see a lot. I mean, personal views over here, I need to declare. I do see a lot of value in sterling value, but I do see a lot of volatility here as well. So I think it's a great time to exchange for those who want to buy property in UK, or you have folks studying or children studying in the UK. I think a very good time for you to change Sing to sterling. How to do? Let me give you a few suggestions. Personal again. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a few things. I'm typically in Sing or US dollar. I business users for Sing and US dollar. So I don't have much use for UK sterling. So it's really about wanting to hold long term. So I can go to the bank, any local bank or foreign bank in Singapore. I can do a DCP called dual currency and strike to sterling pound. By doing that, I strike at a good rate, and I also can earn some interest from it. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is there's some minimum quantum. I think for certain, like the one I'm doing right now is minimum 100,000 Sing. That's with OCBC. So you have to do minimum 100,000 to do the DCP. So that's the quantum is not small. The bad side is also if you get struck to sterling, right, you are actually in sterling. If you have no use for it, you have to be like me, wanting really to hold long term, seeing value over there. I still see London as a key financial hub. I do see even Britain living as a plus point, because I've always said in many talks, because they don't need to carry any debt out there for Europe. Europe is in debt. That's open secret. So the payers of the debt are usually Germany or France. So getting out of EU may not be a bad idea after all. Okay, so that's DCP is one. I don't suggest really going to the money changer to just change like this because you do not really get a good rate. By doing DCP is more ideal. You get a better rate from the banks, but of course quantum is bigger. And there's a question: is there any ETF tied to the sterling? We'll talk about that in a while. I think there is, but again, it might not be that liquid. I think there's some ETFs linked to sterling. You have to Google it, but I don't really trade that. I do a lot of DCPs because I get interest. It's short term. The DCP is typically 1 month to 3 months to 6 months. I do 1 month, and usually I strike sync to US dollar to sync because I'm indifferent to these two currencies. I have users business use for these two. So dual currency is really the best tool for those who are indifferent to both to either currency. Okay, so let's look at the chart. So you're sterling, you're this kind of events coming up. I do see a lot of volatility. If you want to trade spot or trade very short term, you have to be very, very fast, to deal with the volatility. We'll look at the chart on a few pairs. In fact, maybe two pairs. I'm interested in looking at sterling yen and sterling dollar. Of course, these two pairs look the same right now, both pinned down at the moment. I think sterling dollar has a lot of potential. If you look at the daily charts, I don't think you disagree with me that this whole area is cheap, right? So generally, it's cheap. And again, you see the pattern over here, a long-term chart breakdown in trend lines. And I'm doing this because you need to see the similarities, the patterns keep repeating itself. It breaks down and it goes from here. So maybe if you really are very conservative, the trend line you're looking at should be around here or maybe even here. So on the upside, these two trend lines are the one that's determining at the moment. The moment we have some kind of break above these two trend lines, I think sterling will have a good run. But of course, still a long way to go. We have to see how the political situation pans out. But sterling is definitely cheap. If I look at a weekly chart, where even longer term, you will see that sterling is really, really cheap. I think this was what we had in Brexit. If I'm not wrong, yeah, this is around Brexit in 2016. And after that, we recovered. And now we're down again. So let's see how it goes. But in general, if you are an investor of sterling, you should be enjoying probably a 20 to 30% discount on sterling. So if you're servicing a loan right now, you should be feeling relatively more relaxed than last time, right? So again, this one very, very not easy to trade, but I think there's money to be made out there because single day, you see, can move 300 pips. So I think 200 to 300 pips is normal movements for it. But if you trade short term, you really, really have to make sure that you are covered in terms of risk management. Okay, sterling yen wise, similar story, but be very careful because compare both. I may favor sterling dollar a little bit because dollar has rallied a lot and will be vulnerable to profit taking along the way. Whereas the yen, if Dow Jones comes down, I'm teaching about currency pairing here. So if Dow Jones comes down, yen might strengthen. And if sterling rallies from here, the effect might be negated from the strength in yen. So I have a slight preference for sterling versus dollar, but of course I may not be right, depends on your preference as well. But these two pairs is what I'm looking at. And I think that's the main cause for this week because we are going to weekend. So be very careful as well because if the weekend situation changes, you're not able to react in your positions and you may see a gap on Monday morning as well. Gap up, gap down, nobody knows yet. So do look out for it. For dessert today, we may have the Aussie and the Kiwi. This hourly chart, we see some weakness in Aussie these 2 days. But I think in general, I'm actually quite bullish on the Aussie. Reason, very simple. We have this long-term trend line coming down. We seem to have found the bottom over here. In fact, it's a nice down bottom in my opinion. We broke up. All right, this is a neckline over here. You can draw a neckline. See, it's kind of we broke up, rested on neckline, now pushing up again, but for some strength in dollar pushing it down for the last 2 days. Like what I told, this is a daily chart, so I'm looking at a general situation first. So you see MACD also in a positive territory for daily chart. So actually there's some long run players supporting this. Short term wise, I think it's down because short term wise, let me take away this yellow box. No. Wait, short term wise, we have some pressure as I mentioned because dollar is strong these 2 days. So short term wise, you see your MACD is being pinned down. So preference probably is if MACD can go above 0 to this area, then probably you can consider some longs for Aussie pair. I do see some, let me just stop your videos. Some of you are having videos. See your face, handsome face, pretty face. So basically, you see that once we have moved above this over here, right? And if the daily MACD still remains on the upside, I think there's some room to rally over here. Generally, Aussie is not a bad currency compared to the of course dollar is the star for this year. That's why you see it keeps coming down. And we had some good jobs report coming out of Australia as well last week, if I'm not wrong. So we do have some, I do foresee some upside in the commodity currencies like Aussie and Kiwi. Kiwi also, again, you see, this is a daily chart. I think we are in a lot of turning points for a lot of asset classes. We have oil already moved. But if you look at the trend lines that I'm drawing, I think a lot of significant breaks are happening in the long-term charts. Of course, Kiwi has already rallied. But look at this, I think Kiwi is definitely pretty strong. You see, dollar is strong, but Kiwi can do this against the dollar, right? Which means Kiwi has some leaks over there. So I think, January is still cheap. If you look at the chart, January is still low. So I think there's some value over here. I think Australian dollar has more value than Kiwi at the moment because it's very well defined that this has just broken out. Rest now coming back to an area of good support. So I think Aussie is not too bad. If you're going to Australia like me next year, probably not too bad currency to be in. Again, you can consider DCP to strike or you can trade on spot. Both are fine, but again, if you trade on spot, just be very careful on risk management. Make sure you put your stop losses and do proper sizing from there. So these two is the dessert. I've gone through very clear cut in the markets what is happening, what has broken, what has not broken. Repeat again. Look out. This pattern is today's learning point. Crude oil after breaking a long-term trend line, see, goes down like this. Down, very very near. Will it get supported or will it get broken? We'll see. If it get broken, then probably it may behave like crude oil and go this way. So we might close off 2018 in the equity markets very weakly if that happens. And look out for sterling, where we have a lot of economic. You see sterling lining up like this. You seldom see on normal trading days. You see candles like this just lining up. I don't know what to do. This is basically a lot of indecision over here in sterling. Nobody wants to make a false move. So a lot of people are preparing for this weekend as well. Just trade defensively, remember. Any other questions? So you have the dessert, the appetizers, which is the things that they're moving, the Dow and the oil. Probably look out for gold as well. Gold, I'm slightly bullish. Again, a bottom is formed. Now this area becomes very important. As long as I summarize, as long as I'm above this yellow zone, I think I'm slightly bullish on gold. Any questions? Very clear-cut webinar. We'll do this kind of half an hour webinars. I think it's very comfortable for everybody to watch and everything, and you get training ideas very quickly. I think this has been the feedback that they want, short and sweet webinars, half an hour or so. I don't think you all have a lot of time or energy or attention spent to watch 1 hour, 2 hour webinars. So this is very short and sweet, and hopefully it's very clearly explained. Okay, not to worry if you miss anything. This is recorded, and later we'll send out the link as usual. Okay, if all good, then thank you very much. We will stop over here. I'll update again whenever there's moves in the market. I think I chose to update today because there has been moves in Dow, oil, and we are coming up to a big weekend for sterling. So I think it's a good time for all of you to just alert all of you on what's happening, and so that you're well informed to make decisions. Okay, good. So thank you very much. Have a good few days, and I should be seeing you maybe. I think a good time to do the next webinar is early next week after the Parliament, after the EU summit, so we can just see what's happening and prepare for the parliamentary vote in UK if there's any. Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend and happy trading for the rest of the week.